Hello, Lens mates, and welcome. I'm Book Lens. Find a comfortable space, perhaps lie down, and let your mind settle as we gently decode a film that's much more than it seems. Today, we're looking at the 2025 Tamil film Dude. Now, this is a movie that presents itself as one thing, but reveals a really complex and at times pretty contradictory heart. This quote from the Times of India really gets to the core of it, calling it a rare film that tries to tackle a real-world issue. And that's exactly what we're going to explore. To really get what this movie is about, we're going to have to peel back its layers. So we'll start with its vibrant surface, that rom-com vibe, and then dig down into this central romance, and from there, into the really serious social issues at its core. We'll even look at the hero himself before we see what everyone thought of it. So on the surface, Dude was sold as a jolly, hilarious, fun ride and a youthful entertainer. You know, the perfect kind of movie for a big, festive Diwali release. It really looked like it was going to be another one of Pradeep Ranganathan's signature, funny, modern love stories. But as this slide shows so well, that breezy fun is, well, it's kind of a bait and switch. What starts out looking like a movie about pranks and college romance quickly gives way to a much darker, much more serious story about caste prejudice and even honor killings. That sharp turn is everything in this film. So let's move to the central relationship that this whole thing is built around. We're talking about the protagonists, Agin, played by Pradeep Ranganathan, and Karal, played by Mamatha Baju. Their relationship is the entire focus at the beginning. It starts with Kiral actually proposing to Agin. He says no, only to, realize later that he's in love with her. This whole will they, won't they thing is the emotional heart of the first half. But this creative choice drew some criticism. Reviewers pointed out that for a film that's trying to send a progressive message, having its main romance rely on what they called a redundant trope, an old-fashioned and unquestioned idea, felt like a pretty big contradiction. But you know what? That whole love triangle dilemma is pretty soon overshadowed by the film's real conflict, which comes in the form of one character, Kurl's father, Athyaman. And let me tell you, played by a scene-stealing Sarath Kumar, Athyaman is not just some disapproving dad. No way. He is a violent enforcer of caste purity, someone who is willing to kill to protect his political image and his hateful beliefs. We even find out he's done it before. And this is where the movie pivots hard. Suddenly, Agin's love problems seem tiny compared to this life-or-death situation. The film basically transforms into a social drama, and it starts exploring the very real horrors of honor killings driven by casteism. So as the danger gets more and more intense, Agin's character transforms too. He's no longer the confused guy in love. He steps into a very specific and I think very familiar cinematic archetype. Agin then becomes the ultimate selfless lover. You know the type, right? He's a hero who isn't defined by what he gets in the end, but by what he's willing to give up for Kurl's happiness with someone else. And his sacrifices become increasingly extreme to the point of being almost absurd. We're not just talking about giving up his feelings. He fakes a whole marriage to her. He pretends to be the father of her child to help them get a visa. He even fakes a new relationship for himself just to push her away, for her own good. This whole journey led critics to compare him to the hero of the 2001 film Shah Jahan, another famously selfless cinematic lover. Which makes you wonder, right? Is Agin supposed to be a new, progressive kind of hero? Or is this just a repeat of a tired old trope? So, how did everybody, audiences, critics, react to this wild blend of Gen Z humor, a controversial romance, and some really heavy social commentary? Well, the consensus was kind of complicated. A really clear pattern emerged from all the reviews. The film starts strong. Everybody seemed to agree on that. The first half was praised for being fun and funny with a great twist. But after the intermission, that's where it lost a lot of people. It just couldn't keep up the momentum. You can see it in the mixed reviews here, hovering between 2.5 and 3 stars. They all pretty much highlight the same structural problem. Words like uneven and routine pop up again and again when they talk about the second half. They liked the ambition, but not so much the execution. So what happened? Well, it was chalked up to what one review called a tonal inconsistency. That wacky humor that worked so well at the start just didn't really mesh with the super serious themes later on. It ended up feeling like two different movies that were stitched together. I think this quote from Cinema Express just perfectly captures how people felt about Dude. It's a film with its heart in the right place, for sure, with a really unique directorial voice, but it just couldn't quite figure out how to make its clashing tones work together. And that leaves us with a really interesting question to think about. By wrapping up a harsh social critique inside a Gen Z comedy, does a film like Dude make its message easier to swallow? Or does it end up watering down the very issue it's trying to talk about? It's a real challenge. Thank you for joining me.